Hello and welcome to this video. I'm doing today's segment on a very popular short story, The Drover's Wife by Henry Lawson. Henry Lawson was an Australian writer and poet who is counted amidst the best-known Australian poets and fiction writers of the colonial period, and is often called Australia's greatest short story writer. Lawson wrote prolifically into the 1890s, after which his literary output declined. He succumbed to alcoholism, and given his mental illness, he had to spend a great deal of time in psychiatric institutions. He died in 1922, and he became the first Australian writer to be granted a state funeral. Lawson was the son of the poet, publisher, and feminist Louisa Lawson. Henry Lawson is celebrated as a bush poet. The bush is a term mostly used in the English vernacular of Australia and New Zealand. It refers to a natural undeveloped area which has a unique fauna and flora, which is quite indigenous to that particular region, to that particular hinterland. And the bush poet used to express the unique qualities, the unique culture, the unique trends of that particular area, which is typical Australian culture. Lawson was also from the bush, the undeveloped native Australian area, had lived on a selection, had been brought up in bush poverty, had suffered hardship and unemployment, and knew of the characters and lifestyles which he talked about in his stories and poetry. His work reflected Australian experience with an integrity with which his readers identified. In fact, he was the first Australian-born writer who really looked at Australia with Australian eyes, and he was not influenced by his knowledge of other landscapes. The story that we are going to take up today, The Drover's Wife, is unique in many ways. Lawson acknowledges the hardships of Australian women living in the bush. This story was unique in its time because it talks about a female protagonist, something which was very uncommon in the times of Lawson. The stories of that particular period focused on the men living in the outback, the drovers, and their struggle. And the stories totally dismissed the life of the women waiting at home, suffering in silence during their husband's long period of absence. But this particular story gives expression to the suffering of a woman, what all she goes through in the absence of her husband. A bushwoman is a female who lives in the Australian outback, the undeveloped natural area, far from society, a hinterland you can say. And drover, of course, is the one who drives livestock. This is the story of a bushwoman who struggles to protect her family against all odds, against the elements, and how she gets shaped by the landscape that she inhabits. Let me give you a brief summary of the story. Well, the story opens with the drover's wife, who is a bushwoman, and her children alone in their house, which is, of course, in the bush. One of the children discovers a snake and calls for the mother. The bushwoman reaches for her stick and rushes to her children, but meanwhile the snake hides in a hole which is between the wall and the floor. As the snake disappears, the woman puts the children to sleep and waits up with her dog, and the name of the dog is Alligator, and she waits for the reptile to come out. As she waits, she starts to recall several dangerous situations she had to face throughout the years when her husband was away with the sheep. And she remembers all the dangerous incidents, that how she fought bushfire, flood, dangerous men, and even illness that spread among the cattle. She is mostly content but still feels isolated, dreaming of the fashion pictures in her ladies' magazine. And by the morning she runs out of candles and gets up to go get more wood to keep the fire burning. She seizes a stick, pulls it out, and the whole wood pile collapses, injuring her, and she begins to cry. She had paid an Aboriginal man to stake it for her and assumed it was actually full of wood. She takes out a handkerchief to wipe away her tears, but she pokes her eyes instead, as the handkerchief is full of holes. And the ridiculous situation makes her laugh, which is quite touching because she is very poor. Even her hanky has lots of holes. It is near daylight, but the bushwoman and her dog are still on the watch for the snake to come out. Suddenly, the snake comes out of a large crack in the partition slabs. The dog starts to chase the snake and eventually kills it. The woman lifts the reptile on the point of her stick and throws it into the fire. The eldest son, his name is Tommy, he wakes up and notices the tears in the eyes of his mother. The eldest son understands the pain of his mother and he promises to his mom that he will never ever go for drawing like his father. The drover's wife is the central character in the story. She inhabits the Australian bush and lives with her 4 children who are described as dried up looking children. And she has to encounter various hardships during her husband's absence. She is lonely and poor but remains strong. She keeps dreaming of fashion and another life. As she waits up for the snake, she recalls various dangerous situations which she had to face in her life. It is apparent that she is accustomed to the hardships that life brings her and that she is capable of taking care of herself and her children. And the snake represents a threat which is eventually defeated. She has no other option than to continue being strong and brave. She is the ultimate mother who puts her children's needs before her own and does everything she can to ensure the survival of her children. She is strong and independent and keeps fighting all the fights that come her way without wavering. She is not a damsel in distress. She is not a nagging wife. Seems to be much stronger than her careless husband and someone who can take on the various threats encountered in the bush. In this story, nature is depicted as powerful and capricious, utterly indifferent to the men and women who seek to inhabit her landscapes. Man must match strength and wits with nature to continue to live, which is exactly what the drover's wife is doing. She fights one thing after another because it is simply the question of survival for her. Sometimes she wins, sometimes she loses. The theme of isolation is visible in the story. The family's home is located very far away from the rest of society, which makes it vulnerable to the forces of nature. The drover himself is also away, meaning that the bushwoman has to take care of her children without any help. We get a first-hand account of the hardships of living in the outback, particularly for a woman tasked with the care of children and a home, as well as the land. And the imagery that is used by Lawson is quite amazing. The natural conditions around her change at all times, so the bushwoman must constantly adapt to new threats creatively in order to keep her family safe. And choosing to move her children into the safe kitchen and create a bed for them on the table shows how resourceful the bushwoman has become in taking care of her family. Many of her girlhood dreams are lost, but she has adapted well to her fate. This woman had to endure a lot. She has endured all types of challenges: the death of livestock, fires, floods, illness, the loss of a child, and snakes. She has even had to kill and skin a mad bull. Yet, according to this character, there are things a bushwoman cannot do. Perhaps one of the most interesting parts of the story is its title. Despite the fact that the story is all about the woman who is at the center of the action, she is never identified by name. Instead, she is referred to only as the drover's wife, which could be viewed as a slight given the strength and resilience she shows in her husband's absence. The story is written in third-person narration and is in present tense. The plot is quite simple and it emphasizes on the character and experiences which she undergoes. The sentences are quite short. The language which is used in the story is quite descriptive, and the setting of the story is, of course, Australian bush. And the very description of the bush landscape is pictorial. When the writer says that there is bush all around, the bush consists of stunted, rotten native apple trees everlasting, maddening sameness is there. Everything is same there. Everything is barren, and there are no horizons, no ranges in the distance, and no undergrowth. It's all vacant. It's all empty. Even the description of the house gives impression of this barrenness, that it's quaint, it's minimalist. It just has the bare necessities of life. The kitchen has no floor, and in fact has no earthen one, and it's a two-roomed house, and it's built of round timber slabs and stringy bark and floored with split slabs. A big bark kitchen standing at one end is larger than the house itself, as the description is given there. The description of the surrounding landscapes, as Lawson has described it, it provides the reader with a visual image of the Australian bush. And Lawson has created convincing and extraordinary images in The Drover's Wife. And the visual techniques which Lawson has used in this story, they reveal the hardships faced by women and the sacrifices and adjustments they make to survive. One of the most remarkable features of this story is Lawson's use of language to portray ideas about Australian identity and culture. Lawson has painted a picture of Australia's bush identity in a realistic and unromanticized way. His detailed short stories are deeply personal, and they give insight into his values and beliefs, and the common beliefs of remote Australians in the late 1800s and early 1900s. And Lawson is credited for popularizing the Australian vernacular in fiction and stories. Well, I hope the crux of the story is clear to you. I would advise you to read the original text and come up with any doubts or queries if you have any. I'm leaving you guys with an assignment, and I hope you would be able to complete it. Thank you so much for your attentive listening.